Welcome everyone to the Clash of Generations here at Tata Steel Masters 2026. We have the youngest participant of the tournament, Yagiz Kaan Erdogmus, born in 2013, 2011, 14-year-old taking on Anish Giri, the oldest participant in the tournament, born in 1994. Handshake here, and Anish opens the game with pawn to d4. This will be a super exciting clash to witness because Anish and Yaz, well, they are so different in the way they play, and Anish has so much experience on his side while Yaz is just oozing with talent. Knight comes out to f3, knight to f6 played, and now knight to c3. We have the queen's gambit declined on the board, and bishop comes out to e7. Anish brings his bishop out to f4. Surprisingly, on the same day, we have the same opening played by Gukesh as well as by Anish. Castles, e3 played, and Arvind played b6 against Gukesh, but Yaz goes for c5, which is perhaps the more well-known move and has been played in so many games. D takes c5 taken by Anish. Bishop takes on c5, and now queen to c2. This is all well-known theory. The knight comes out to c6, and then the queen comes out to a5. Has been seen in so many games. In fact, even games of Garry Kasparov and Karpov in their world championship match. Queen a5. Now notice you can't play b4 just yet because of bishop b4, and ab4 is impossible as the rook is hanging. So rook comes to d1, putting pressure on d5. And now bishop goes back to e7. And we have bishop coming out to e2. White is ready to castle. But knight e4 throws some spanner in the works. Pawn takes pawn by Anish. He knows his opening stuff pretty well. This has been played before in his game as well. He has played it against Rustam Kazimjanov, and that was in 2014. Just many years ago. He castles here, and the main move for black now is bishop to e6. But Yaz plays the same move that Rustam had played. Bishop f6, attacking the pawn on c3. And so Anish goes c4. And now the game between Kazimjanov and Anish had continued. Bishop e6 over here. And but Yaz takes. And it could be that this is his preparation. Although sometimes I don't really understand this approach where it's your preparation and yet you have spent around 30 minutes on the clock. Bishop takes c4. And Yaz plays bishop f5, attacking the queen here on c2. Anish now, I think best move is queen a2, because if you go queen b3, I can offer a trade with queen b6 and gain a valuable tempo. So queen a2 on the board, and now there's a beautiful geometric move, bishop e4. Why? Because firstly, you are allowing the white rook to enter, but you are swinging over your queen to the other side. It's very important. And so Anish, after due thought, by the way, look at this, he was at 145, he's now at 1, so he took 45 minutes to play knight d2, and Yaz goes bishop g6 here. He goes back, and now the bishop comes back to b3. Now let's see what the queen can do here. Maybe there's also the move bishop d3 that we should... Oh, but knight c4 is the idea. Aha, got it. So knight e5 played here. And Anish now puts his bishop on d5. One of the plans could be to take on e5 and then jump knight c4. It's also very interesting. Bishop comes to d3, attacking the rook on f1. He takes on e5. And now the interesting part is he takes back, because if you took on f1, there's bishop f6 and white is clearly better because you can't take gf6. I take on f1, and yeah, I mean, it's just wrong. So bishop e5, and now Anish can move his rook to e1, but I think black would be doing completely fine. So he has this tactical idea of knight f3, attacking the bishop. Now Yaz has to be super accurate because he must take on f1. He does it. Knight e5. Anish very concrete here. Must take here. Knight takes e5. And yes, he takes it. Knight takes e5. And now a very important moment for Yaz. He must play his bishop to b5. The variation is bishop b, but he goes bishop a6 all the way back, and that's a blunder. The right way was bishop b5, knight takes f7, and bishop e8. And the main point being, after knight g5 check, king h8, if you play queen c2 trying to checkmate me here, the bishop pops out here. And that's the reason why this idea of bishop b5, bishop e8 is so important. But once Yaz plays bishop a6, this is off the table. The bishop, yes, it protects the b7 pawn, but that's not the important thing here. The important thing was to reroute the bishop here, which is the reason why now Anish can take on f7 and he's completely winning. He's almost ready to take it and he takes it. Beautiful move, knight f7. And now it's very tough. There are very few moves on the board. He goes queen c3. And by the way, look at this variation. Check, king h8, bishop takes b7. And after bishop takes b7, queen b1 attacks here and here. It's a great line. But Anish plays something much more logical. h4, g6 played by Yaz, which is a blunder. He could have played rook a c8, but it was already getting too tough to defend this position. So he goes g6, and now Anish has a killer blow, which is bishop e6. And why is this a killer blow? Because you're going to go rook d7 and you're just entering in, and it's just game over. For example, if you play knight g5 right now, then king h8 is possible. But imagine you had a rook on d7, rook takes h7 is a mate. So just bishop e6 enables that and he plays it. Wow. Anish Giri in top-notch form, finding these great moves. Rook d7, a massive threat. And you know, there's no way in which black can even stop it. And he takes on f7. Yaz, you can see he's thoroughly disgusted with his position. He doesn't like it at all. Bishop f7. He's a pawn down, but more importantly, his king is absolutely toasted here. Just go queen e6. And now, yes, the queen is controlling this diagonal, but that's not all. Like, for example, my rook can enter into the camp. There's also rook d4 that you have to worry about, which is very powerful in general. So he goes bishop b5, stopping rook d7. And Anish finds rook d4. Fantastic move. Queen f6 mate is the big threat. Queen e5 check. So gives a check. King has to go up to h2. Plays it with his left hand even. Saying that, okay, I just know I'm winning. Queen c7 check. I think he's just playing rook f4. Blocking here the check. Excellent. Threatening a check. Queen c3. And now this little move coming in, queen e7 attacks b7. And I mean, if you play a move like a6, there's bishop e8 followed by rook f8 coming, which is game over. So just too many threats in the position. This is hanging, bishop e8 is coming, rook f8 check coming in, rook d4 can come back again. and it's just game over. Yaz is thinking about how to deal with this. He doesn't have the time, but his position is also just terrible, and he resigns there. Anish Giri scores another win here in the tournament. He moves on to a very solid 5.5 points out of 11, 50% score. But very impressive was the way he just finished it off here today.